Alrighty, welcome back to another video. We are continuing the power ranking list for the NFL pre-week 1. And yeah, moving along at a good pace here, so we're gonna just jump right back in. At number 20, I have the Steelers. Now, Steelers are the TJ Watt show. TJ Watt, he looks like his brother out there. He is amazing, to say the least. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the whole league. He's just off the charts. He puts his head down and he gets after the quarterback, and he's won games for the Steelers multiple times last season, and just at his time with this team. He is a monster, and that's really all there is to be said about him. The rest of this defense, very good team. Very good defense. Very good group. You know, they got Minka Fitzpatrick at safety. I don't know. It's just a good defense. There's not much more to be said about them. They did bring in Miles Jack, a very talented guy. Did not really... he has not put out the production we thought he would coming out of the draft, but he is still, a very good end. And he playing alongside TJ Watt, I can definitely foresee him improving. Overall, they've had a good roster for years on end now, but the biggest problem with this team has been quarterback while rebuilding. I mean, they've had Big Ben, but Big Ben's been hurt a lot. Big Ben has now retired, and it's on to the new. I have to say, I was a little surprised to see that Trubisky is starting over Pickett. A lot of people like Trubisky more than I like Trubisky. He did lead the Bears to 2 playoff berths, but I don't know how much I really believe in the guy. He definitely deserves a better chance than he's got, so it's nice to see that he's starting. It's going to give Pickett a chance to sit behind him and, take some notes. But I don't know, this guy Pickett, he might not be the most talented guy to come out of this draft class, but he definitely is the most pro-ready. The way he looked in the pocket in the preseason, he looked like he's been doing it for 10 years. He looked like he's been here. He knows that he deserves to be here, and I think that this guy Pickett, Kenny Pickett, will be here for a long time. They have found their future quarterback in Kenny Pickett. They drafted him in the first round, and letting Trubisky get a chance in the NFL behind a good O-line with Deontay Johnson at wide receiver. I think this is going to be a good team. They're going to get off to a good start. The fact that they're sitting at number 20 right now is surprising to me, and that goes to show how competitive the NFL is this year. They're going to have to prove a lot of things on the field to move up. But, I mean, this is another team they're sitting at number 20, and they have deep playoff potential. They could even, there is a universe where they do go to the Super Bowl this year. You might be calling me crazy for that, but did you think that the Bengals would be going to the Super Bowl last year? Probably not, So, This team has a lot of potential. Their defense is fully in place. I think they could use a little more talent around their quarterback position, a few more weapons. They do have a very good young running back. They've always had a good running back. It's just one of their things that they always have a good running game, but now they have a quarterback to go into the future, and once Kenny Pickett does take over, Trubisky is going to be a good backup. I definitely see him. I like that Trubisky's getting a second shot. Juju leaving was a big loss, but I think Juju's time with this team was done, and right now that they have their young quarterback, they have a year to start Trubisky to sit Kenny, and assuming that next season they're gonna try to pick up some weapons, build around Kenny Pickett for the future. And this is a team to watch out for going into the future. They're pretty much at the back end of their rebuild, and they're looking to start winning some games. Number 21, I have the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings, another fantastic team, fantastic roster from top to bottom. I think their head coach was a problem for them last year. They signed Kevin O'Connell. He's coming off a Super Bowl victory as the Rams offensive coordinator. I mean, they still have Kirk Cousins. They brought Kirk Cousins back for another year. Kirk Cousins has always been a very underrated quarterback in my book, but he does have one or two throws a game where you look at him and you're like, what were you thinking, man? What were you doing on that play? They bolstered up on the defensive end. They added some talent. Xavier Woods was really the only key guy that left from this team besides their head coach, and like I said, their head coach was the only thing holding them back. I believe in Kevin O'Connell. Having an offensive-minded coach to pair with Kirk Cousins is a very good sight, especially when you consider that this defense was very good last year. They have Dalvin Cook at running back. This is going to be a good team. They have deep playoff potential sitting here at number 21 on my list. It's just wild how competitive the NFL is this year. So yeah, that's going to cap off the Minnesota Vikings at 21. At number 22, I have, a lot of people might be surprised, the New York Giants. I am very excited for this team. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this team and they're counting them out early. You have to realize that Brian Daboll was a massive part in the development of Josh Allen, and now he's the head coach of the Giants. I think the Giants needed an offensive head coach because Daniel Jones has not had any support in his time with the Giants since he's been drafted. Daniel Jones looked like a monster in the preseason. I think Brian Daboll is going to be, if anyone can untap Daniel Jones's potential, it is Brian Daboll. And I definitely foresee that happening. I see him having an amazing breakout season this year. And even if that doesn't happen, the Giants are, they're loaded on draft picks, and this is a loaded quarterback class, so they're probably gonna replace him if he can't get it done, and the next kid will probably be the guy. So, I would like to see them build up more at offensive line. Going into the future, adding more weapons around Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley, this is going to be his, he's 1 year completely removed from a massive injury, season-ending injury. He was out a few games last year, but this is his first full year back. So this is kind of his last shot. The dude was taken with I think the second overall pick his rookie year. There was good reason for that. The guy is a generational talent, or was a generational talent coming out of college. I think the injury definitely has limited his potential, his overall potential, but this is the year where he needs to prove himself because they're paying him a lot of money, and he did have the talent coming out of college. So this offense has a lot of potential to be deadly this year. But the fact that Saquon Barkley was taken second overall and has spent a lot of his career injured on the sidelines is the reason why we see so much decline in value. It's a major reason why we see so much decline in value at the running back position. On top of that, the Giants did have a stellar draft class this year. They picked up a good offensive lineman in free agency. And I don't know, they just look good. Their defense was very underrated last year. and they have a lot of pieces coming together. They made every single move that they needed to make this offseason. They made all of the right moves. And things are looking up for the Giants after years of turmoil. I think they're lined up for a good one, and they have a lot of potential to climb. So that sums up the Giants for me in this video. That sums up the rest of this video. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a good one.